Welcome back to Workout Wisconsin. I'm your host, Reggie Davis, here on location at Carbon World Health. I'm now joined again with Russ Beyer here.
Thanks for having us again.
Fitness director here and one of the co-founders of Carbon World Health. Russ, what are we looking into now?
We're going to take a look at our heart rate monitoring system, and we're going to talk to you a little bit about why we monitor heart rate.
Why?
Well, some of the biggest things we use it for is, number one, making sure that we have fitness beginners coming in, that we're not overtraining them. And what I mean by overtraining in that respect is that we don't want to have them wake up the next morning with so much soreness, so much kind of recovery aspects that they have to go through that they don't want to come back to the gym.
I'll ask you this right now. Since you started this interview, your numbers changed. So what's going on here? So you must be wearing one, aren't you?
Exactly, 100%. And that happens, all right? We see that a lot with people that come in for the first time. Their heart rates are elevated. We're not able to get an accurate reading on their resting heart rate. And we have other equipment here at the facility where we actually will take a look at finding out where their resting heart rate is in line with their maximum heart rate. And just like we talked about in shows prior with BMI versus body mass index versus body fat percentage, there's a huge skew of numbers going on there. And how do we calculate these things correctly and appropriately for individual?
Good thing with fitness learn about, and also we can find out if Russ is nervous or not.
Yeah, right.
It's interesting. So when we started this segment, it was up high, but he's come down a little bit, so he's not as nervous as he once was. But no, that's pretty,
little lie detection reaction too.
I love it. So what kind of workouts do you put people through when you use the heart rate monitor here?
We we continue to use all of our fitness modalities into one concept, but inside of each of those fitness modalities, we take a look at what's going on. Some people come in for their first time and they might just make it through our move zone, right? Based on these numbers. So right now I'm at about 83 beats per minute and I have burned 52 calories. I'm at 47% of my maximum heart rate. What we're seeing here is exactly what we would expect out of a move zone. On other people who who are maybe a little bit more deconditioned and they have things to work on, we might see this out of our move zone up into a red, all right, which we really never want to be there, but we will touch on it here and there as we're kind of conditioning someone to their activities. So moving on from there, this zone right here is basically where we kind of want to sit when we are moving through range of motion with joints. As we kind of push forward into higher intensities, ultimately what we want to see is a fitness level where we could do the hardest activity in the whole wide world, any challenge that we want to accept, and stay right in that blue and green zone. Okay, that's about ranging from 60 to about 80% of our maximum heart rate. And you hear about that a lot through target heart rate. There's a reason it's a target. That's where we're anabolic. Okay. Everybody's heard of anabolic before. That's when we're using our fuel source from fats to fuel our engine or our fat-free mass, muscle tissue, skeletal tissue, central nervous system, soft tissue organ, that's all combined in there. All right, so then what we really hear about a lot, all right, and not that it's 100% correct all the time, but we often hear about let's race our heart. That makes sense, right? And ultimately, yes, it does. Faster heart rate, more calories burned. Not necessarily the case all the time. This red zone is actually kind of a danger zone. We see it all the time.
Yep.
Once your heart rate gets to 90% of your maximum heart rate and over, we're starting to hit some of the kind of the biological effects and hormonally kind of offsetting some things.
Right.
Okay? So at that point, we're actually getting into some kind of stressors. And we want to always stay away from that. So we monitor that in that respect.
Nice. So another one of those great things here at Carbon World Health, they monitor your heart rate here and give you an opportunity to see it up here on the screen. Russ Beyer, fitness director here, Carbon World Health. Stay tuned, much more to come here on Workout Wisconsin. I'm your host, Reggie Davis, right here on Wisconsin's Channel 57.